Hello humans, I'm the AlienDoctor, but you can call me Alien, and welcome back to another video here on Big Ink. Wait, no, this isn't Big Ink SMP that ended. Oh yeah. Oops. What is this video then, and why are we on the Big Ink SMP world, and why can my head travel through blocks? I've got that weird elytra bug again. So what I was meant to say in that intro is, hello humans, I'm the AlienDoctor, but you can call me Alien, and welcome back to another tutorial here on the Minecraft Bedrock edition. Today I'm going to be basically showing you how to reset your outer end islands. Obviously I needed a world that kind of had its outer end islands explored before, so I chose Big Ink SMP. So today we're going to be resetting the outer end islands on the Big Ink SMP world download. If you don't know what this is basically an SMP that I used to run for content creators. However, it ended mainly due to inactivity and stuff like that. But yeah, and this will download, if you're interested, is actually linked on my old website, which is technically still my current website, but I'm making a new website, so I call it my old website. But it will be my old website, but for now it's still my current one because my new one isn't working at the moment for reasons. But anyway, that's completely off topic. Back to the tutorial. First of all, I think it is a good idea, and wow, we really did not leave the stronghold in a good shape when we went on that end raid, did we? But yeah, first of all, I think it's probably a good idea if I talk to you about what the outer end islands is. And basically what they are is, obviously you have your main end island. So your main end island is at 0, 0. It obviously has the ender dragon on it. So you can see here we are at 0, 0. And yeah, this is the main end island. It's got all of the obsidian pillars on, the ender dragon, all of that sort of thing. Now, not everybody knows this. Obviously, when you kill the ender dragon, so as you can see, I'm just going to do that here kind of cheatily. Oh, look, I killed the ender dragon on Big Ink SMP. So obviously, once you kill the ender dragon, then a end gateway should spawn. There it is. And then obviously, you can get yourself an ender pearl and throw an ender pearl through that portal block, basically to go to the outer end islands, like I have just done right here. And this takes you to this place, which is known as the outer end islands. Now, what a lot of people don't know is you can actually bridge out to the outer end islands, like me and Mini Fearful did on this SMP, before you've even killed the ender dragon. That's obviously how we got elytra on here. And there's a fireball. And yeah, that's kind of what the outer end islands is. Obviously, over there is the end island. And in fact, if I turn up my render distance all the way, then there is a chance that we'll be able to see it, see the outer end islands and the main end island at the same time. So here we go. As you can see here, we've obviously got the outer end islands. This is where end cities spawn. And then you've also got the main end island. The main end island is in the middle. And then in a sort of ring shape, you have the outer end islands that obviously extend all the way around. And yeah, you can build or fly to them instead of using a gateway if you want to. So that's what the outer end islands is. Now this tutorial is going to be about resetting the outer end islands, so all of these islands out here. So why do you want to reset them, you may be asking? So often, especially on a multiplayer server, you will want to reset your outer end islands because ultimately you don't want players having to travel really far out because all of the nearby end cities have already been looted. It would be obviously it's more convenient for a player to not have to travel as far. I know a lot of servers that just simply reset their outer end islands every month or so, and that sort of thing, kind of, yeah, just so players don't have to go too far traveling in the end. However, what happens if you built stuff? I know that certain people build maps on the end void. They do map art and they'll do it in the end, because obviously you've got the void as kind of like a blank canvas. And so I'll try my best to show you a way that will also mean that you won't reset anything that's in the void. Ultimately, if you've built something literally in the void right next to an end island, I can't promise that this method won't delete it, but if you take backups of your world, you can always just check afterwards. So yeah, that is my advice to you. And other than that, I think it's time that we get into the main tutorial of how to reset your outer end islands. So step 1 is to load out of your world and actually press the pencil icon next to your world save. Scroll all the way down to the bottom and press export world. And then you can simply just press export, save it wherever. I'm going to just save it in my documents because why not? Because that's just the default place. And then it's going to export your world. You're going to need to wait for this green bar to go all the way. Now, If you're on console, then what I'm about to show you will still work. However, you're going to have to get your world off of console onto a PC. Now, you don't actually have to own a copy of Minecraft on your PC to do this. You simply just need to be able to transfer your world off your console or Android device and then onto your, PC, whether it has a copy of Minecraft on it or not. So I'm not going to show you how to do that in this tutorial. However, there are tutorials on YouTube that do show you how to get worlds off console and onto PC if you do want to do this if you are a console player. So after you've done that, you're going to want to actually exit the game. We don't need it anymore. And then locate wherever you downloaded your world or wherever you exported your world to. So I've just put my .mc world file that it just created for me in here. And you can see here, it's actually 52 megabytes or 52,000 kilobytes. If we actually go in game, then this sort of matches up. This actually reckons it's 73 megabytes, but whatever. It gets compressed slightly when you export it. But yeah, another thing that this can be good to do is actually lower down your world size. And on Bedrock Edition, if your world size is too big, then it will cause lag, so this is a good thing. Now, the other thing is if you're transferring your world from a console, then it most likely won't be a .muck world format. That's fine, because we actually want to transfer it to a normal folder anyway. So what you're going to want to do is, first of all, make sure that you've pressed up here on View, and then make sure that the box File Name Extensions is ticked. Once you've made sure that is ticked, you're going to want to rename it, and you're actually just going to want to rename the end, so get rid of the MC world part that comes after the dot and simply rename it to a .zip. Hit enter on your keyboard, just press yes, and then it's going to rename to a zip file. You're then going to want to right click and press extract all, or you can use your own, extraction software thing if you want to. If you use 7-zip or something, that's fine. But yeah, you're going to want to extract it. It's then going to extract your world. Now, this world contains a lot of behavior packs and stuff, so it is going to have quite a lot of data inside it. Your world, depending on how big it is, will or won't take this long to actually extract. It just depends on how big your world is for this step. Don't worry if it's taking ages. Just let it do its thing. Watch YouTube or something, just, whilst you're waiting, if it is taking a long time because your world size is big. Okay, so now our .zip file has finished extracting, and as you can see, it's just created another folder. I would recommend saving this in case something goes wrong, and then you kind of have a fresh copy to work from again. But then you're going to want to open up your folder and just check that there are actually files in it. If you have behavior packs and resource packs applied to that world, then you may see this. For some reason, there's actually 2 of these folders. Huh. Well, I'm not going to question it. There probably won't be 2 of these folders for you. The reason why is because this used to be running on a server and I probably just spelt something wrong or something. I don't know. But yeah, just ignore that, I guess. That might be something wrong with the world download. I might need to fix that later now that I think about it. Anyway, the folders that you definitely should have is a DB folder, which inside will contain a bunch of database files. And then there'll also be things like the level.dat, level name, the world icon, a ton of other things like that. However, as long as you have a couple of stuff in here, it's not a massive issue. In fact, all you really need is the DB files for what we're doing today. Next, you're going to want to open up your favorite web browser and just type into the top foxynotail.com. This will be linked in the description. You're going to want to go to the side navigation bar here and press downloads. You're then going to want to scroll down until you find the option that says tools and apps. Then you're going to want to click on that and scroll down again until you find the MCBE prune tool. You're then going to want to download the latest version by pressing on this orange button. In the future, the website may look slightly different if he decides to update it. The creator, Foxy Notail, full credit goes to him because he's the one that created this tool and this website. But yeah, we're just going to want to press this blue text and it should start downloading his prune tool. You can save this wherever. Just for the sake of the tutorial, I'm going to save it into the main folder that I've already been working from. As you can see here, we now have got the prune version 1.2.zip file. We're going to want to right click on this and press extract all and just let it extract. It shouldn't take as long this time. Once it's extracted, you can open up that folder and you'll see here we have a ton of, files. Now you can ignore all of these .bat files you're not going to need any of these batch files because, yeah, for what we're doing today. Although if you do regularly prune your world, then you may want to take a look at setting up some of these yourself. However, I wouldn't recommend it if you don't know what you're doing. But anyway, so once you've extracted it, what you're going to want to do is go back to where you have your world folder saved. So obviously Big Ink SMP. You're going to want to select all of the files inside of your world folder, and then you can either copy or cut depending on whether you want them. I'm actually going to cut because in theory that should be quicker. We're then going to go back to our prune folder, open up the world folder inside of there, right click and press paste. This is going to copy all of your world files into there, into this world folder. So your current file structure should be all of these files for the prune tool, and then a world folder which inside there should contain all of the various files for your world. You're then going to want to run the prune.exe. Your antivirus may warn you about it if you just press more info and run anyway. That's just because not that many people have actually used this before or whatever. It's not super well known. However, I can assure you it is completely safe. But anyway, because we want to prune the end, we're going to type in 1 on our keyboards. And I am going to make separate tutorials for pruning the overworld and the nether. However, we just want to prune the end. So we're just going to type in 1 and then press enter on our keyboards. It's then going to ask you to enter the coordinates you wish to prune. So we don't want to prune our main end island. The reason being is that that's going to mess up a couple of stuff to do with the dragon fight and that sort of thing. We only want to prune the outer end islands so that players don't have to travel as far to get shulker shells and elytras. So we're going to type in 500 in our first X coordinate, and then in our first Z coordinate, we'll also type 500. In X2, we'll type -500, and in Z2, we'll type -500. What this is saying is anything in the end, because we've selected the end up here, so anything in the end that is outside of the coordinates 500 -500 will get deleted. It will get reset. So you're going to want to press enter once you type that in. It will then ask you whether you want to. It will also ask if you want to scan, which basically tells you a bunch of stuff that you don't really need to know about how much data it's going to be removing and that sort of thing. So we're just going to press Y on our keyboards and then hit enter. And then as you can see here, it is going to begin actually resetting your outer end islands. It then, once it's finished, it will just say process took however many seconds to complete. Press any key to continue. You can just press enter or whatever. And then your outer end islands should actually be finished. So now, of course, you're going to want to actually, import your world back into your game. So to do that, you're going to want to open up your world folder that you had over here. Select all of these files that came in your world folder. Right click and then press send to compressed zipped folder. This is then going to compress all those files into a compressed zipped folder. If you have a particularly big world, you may have to wait a little bit. Once it has done this, you can give it whatever name you like. I'm just going to name it Big Ink SMP Pruned or End Pruned. And then this is important. You're going to want to rename the .zip part to MC World. Then hit enter, then press OK. And as you can see here, if you've done it correctly, it should then change its type to an MC World and have the, sort of Minecraft grass block icon. If you then double click on it, it will then open up in Minecraft. Level import started. As you can see, it says at the top there. And then after a while, it will say level import finished successfully. That means it's imported the world into your game. So you're going to need to press play. And then as you can see here, we have actually got 2 worlds. So, yeah, that was slightly inconvenient because I didn't check which one was which. I'm just going to load into the top world, I guess, because I'm pretty sure the top one is the one that you just imported, but I'm actually not quite sure. And by the looks of things, it does look like this is the copy of the world that has been reset. Reason being is that you can see here, obviously there are still shulkers here. Now, if we TP back to 0, 0, so as you can see here, we're now back at 0, 0. Now you can see this bridge, and obviously not in every world will we have a bridge, but this is kind of a good way to figure out if this actually worked, whether this is the right copy. Obviously, you guys, I would recommend renaming the unpruned version of your world so that you can obviously figure out whether you are in the pruned version or not. But as you can see here, this world is the pruned version, because as you can see here, we are not exactly past -500. Obviously, this is actually -500. There were a couple of blocks still here. Reason being is this can't reset parts of your chunks. So if you set it to 500 like we did there, it will actually reset anything past -497. Reason being is so that it is chunk aligned, because it won't reset things not chunk aligned, because that is just impossible as far as I'm aware to reset some of a chunk and not the rest of it. However, what this does now mean is that all of your outer end islands have now been reset. So all of these will have new elytras in if they'd already been looted, new loot, new shulkers will have spawned, and that sort of thing. That means that your players are obviously not going to have to travel as far to get elytra and shulker shells, which is the entire point of this tutorial. So that's kind of it. You've assuming that, you know, everything has worked for you. If it hasn't, then I mean, just follow the tutorial again, because I've done this multiple times and it's worked completely fine for me. Thank you ever so much. Other than that, thank you ever so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video very, very soon. Don't forget to subscribe for more Minecraft Bedrock Edition content and all that jazz. I'll see you in the next video coming soon. Bye.